fast, die young.
Hello. Yeah, I really do need to get a slightly newer version of that intro done. This is not an industry interview. It is a theatre review of a play that I caught on Friday. Now, I haven't got time to edit a really nice little interview with lots of little stills and stuff. So I thought I'd do a really quick live because the play is only on for another month at the Old Vic Theatre in London. And the play in question we're going to be talking about is the 47th, which is about the 47th election for the president of the United States. And I've got the blurb from the Old Vic here. I'm going to put the links down below. In fact, I think I've already put them there. If you want to go and book tickets, they've got a special price on at the moment. You can get fairly decent seats for around 20-30 quid. And it's a show that's well worth your while going to see, and I'm going to tell you why in this stream. I'm not going to be on very long. This is going to be quite short. So just first of all, the reason I got to go and see this show, because I don't get to go and see a lot of theatre in London at the moment, simply because it's a choice between eating or heating right now with the rise of cost of living, and theatre is a bit of a luxury for me right now, and the nice shows in the centre of town tend to be a bit pricey. I do go and see a lot of theatre at the Park. If you haven't been to the Park Theatre in Finsbury Park, I thoroughly recommend you go and support it. They do fantastic shows there. It's still my favourite theatre in London. But another one of my favourite theatres are both the Old Vic and the Young Vic, located within a stone's throw of each other. And the Old Vic, no longer in the tenure of its former creative director or artistic director, is under new management. And one of the shows they've put on is the 47th, which is the latest piece of writing by playwright Mike Bartlett, who's also a director. Mr. Bartlett is lucky enough to have two plays on in London at the moment, because Cock, which is also doing very well, also bears his name. That's an interesting way of putting that. But I want to talk about the 47th. So I got to see the 47th because a friend of mine, the fantastic actress Eva Fontaine, was doing an understudy run. She's in the show as part of the ensemble on a nightly basis, but she's also understudying the role of Kamala Harris, and that brings me on to what the play is about. So the 47th, as I said, is about the 47th election for the president of the United States. There's my friend Eva Fontaine, fantastic actress. I nearly had her in my last play, Borderlands, but she wasn't able to commit to it, sadly. But she did help us workshop some very early sequences and scenes, which ended up in the final script, which I'm very grateful for. She does a fantastic job of playing Kamala Harris, and it's the three leads in the play are Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Kamala Harris, who is vying for the position of president with Donald Trump. Now, the actor who I saw play Donald Trump was indeed also the understudy. And his name was David Tarkenta. I'm also going to put that in the notes. I don't have it at the moment. And Ivanka Trump was played by Flora Dawson. Now, I've got to say that both of them were absolutely outstanding. Fantastic job by all three of the leads, including my friend Eva, in bringing these characters to life. I mean, they really were very close representations of the real people, and not in a way that borderlined on parody. I just felt they were just very close to them in terms of tone, who they really are, what they might really have said in the situations that were presented to us. I don't want to get into spoilers too much about the play. It's beautifully designed and lit. The use of sound and sound design is really key in the production as well. And it's just got a fantastic feel to the whole thing. Other people that are in the cast, I'm just going to mention, are Charles Craddock, James Cooney, James Garnon. Many of these I actually saw in the understudy run along with my friend Eva Fontaine. And then in the creative team, you have the production itself was directed by Rupert Gold. The fantastic set design was Miriam Boother. The sound design, Tony Gale. Lighting was Neil Austin. And there's original score and music, which is also very effective, done by Adam Cork. It's a show that's got a lot of laughs. There's much to be enjoyed in the portrayal of Trump, especially, but it's the take on modern politics and the way that it's skewed and expunged to the social consciousness at large, which is most interesting. I found that the role of Ivanka Trump was particularly affecting. In fact, you actually end up feeling quite a lot of sympathy for her. Any playwright that can make me do that, that's a skill set unto itself, it has to be said. I was also glad that Mr. Bartlett resisted the temptation to portray Trump simply as a pantomime villain, which it would have been very easy to do. There's one point, and again, I don't want to get into spoilers, but there's one point where the Trump character dares to ask both Miss Harris and also the audience, can you remember anything that Hillary Clinton ran on apart from the fact that she was a woman and was going to be the first female president? And I had to admit, I was reaching my memories, and I'm not an American, obviously, but I did take an active interest in that election. I was reaching to think of any policies, even a single one, actually, that came vividly to mind, and I couldn't. And that was a conversation I had with a couple of people afterwards. I thought it was particularly skillful piece of writing. It's a fantastic play. It's a fantastic play. It grips you from the off. It's very funny, really well acted. There were a couple of characters that I thought were really superfluous to the plot and didn't really need to be in there. And I thought that it could have been cut down by about 10 minutes in the first half. But that aside, I really don't have any complaints. This is a really good show. It is only on at the Old Vic until the 28th of May, which seems quite a short run. It started on the 29th of March. I didn't actually know much about it, but it's until I found out about the understudy run. So it's been on for 2 months, or will have been for 2 months. Really cracking piece of theatre. If you can get a ticket in the stalls, the stage extends slightly further forward, and you know, if you've got a good seat in the stalls or the dress circle, you should have a really decent view. Again, the Old Vic, fantastic venue. The basement bar has recently all been redone. It's really nice. Just think it's a fantastic space. Still would love to get a play on there myself one day. But anyway, I also want to give a shout out to one of my favorite actresses who's in the show, who I didn't get to see because, of course, she's not in the understudy run. That's Tamara Tunie. Now, Tamara Tooney, some of you might recognise from her time on shows like Law and Order, for example. She's been a bit of a stalwart character actor on American television for the best part of 3-4 decades. She's an absolutely fantastic actress. I am going to go back and see the play again because I want to go back and see her in that role. And but I also want to give a shout out to my friend Eva Fontaine. She was absolutely fantastic in the same part. Really proud of her. I've not seen her do a leading role in the West End stage before. Hopefully there'll be many more to come. So just again, big shout out to the Old Vic for putting on this production, Mike Bartlett for writing it, Rupert Gould for doing a fantastic job of staging and directing it. It's a great piece of theatre that lingers long in the mind after you've left the venue, and that's what good theatre should do. So that's it. So that's me from Lance Nielsen from the Outcast Creative. Just a very quick impromptu review. I am going to do one of these every time I go to the theatre from now on, as we're putting more and more content on the channel. We've got several other things coming up in the next few weeks. I've got an interview with actor, fight choreographer Anthony DeLongis. I think we're also going to be talking to my friend Alex Reese and also Darren from who run V Show Cards, which is an interesting tool that actors should get on board and use, and it gives you something that's a bit of an alternative to Spotlight and Equity Cards, and they'll be coming on the show to tell you more about that. I also have just had a couple of other guests confirm. I'm going to be talking to Richard and Adam from Feed Me, two independent horror film directors, although I'm sure they'll be directing other genres as well in the future. And we're going to be talking to all kinds of people, both in front of the scenes and behind the scenes, casting directors, extras, DOPs, cinematographers. We're also going to be doing a live stream with fans of Sons of Anarchy and Mayans, two of my favorite shows. I think that's going to be on a Sunday in May. Certainly we'll be locking the date down for that fairly soon. So this isn't, like I said, this is an impromptu one. But thank you very much for listening. So that's a thorough recommendation from me. Do go and see the 47th before it finishes at the Old Vic on the 28th of May. All the information you need is down below. So in the meantime, have a fantastic bank holiday Monday, and I'll see you again soon.